Did you know that about 85% of parents feel overwhelmed by parenting advice? It's true. A survey by the American Psychological Association found that many parents struggle to find guidance that truly fits their family. With countless parenting books on the market, you might think there's a treasure trove of knowledge waiting to help you. But here's the shocker. Research shows that most parenting books offer advice that simply doesn't work for many families. What's going on here? Why do so many parents find themselves lost, even after reading expert opinions? The truth is that many parenting books take a cookie-cutter approach, ignoring the unique needs of each child and family. They offer a one-size-fits-all solution that can leave you feeling frustrated and confused. In this video, we'll explore why traditional parenting books often miss the mark. You'll discover how to navigate the sea of advice and find what truly works for you. We'll dive into the common traps these books set, why emotional connection matters, and how trusting your instincts can lead to better parenting outcomes. By the end, you'll have the tools you need to break free from outdated advice and build a parenting style that fits your family perfectly. Get ready to challenge the norms and embrace your own unique journey. Chapter 1. The Cookie-Cutter Trap. One size doesn't fit all. Many parenting books claim to offer universal solutions for raising kids, but the reality is far more complex. Parenting isn't a one-size-fits-all approach, yet books often suggest otherwise. Children are unique individuals with different personalities, needs, and behaviors. What works for one child may not work for another. According to a 2019 study by the University of Edinburgh, genetics can play a large role in how children respond to parenting styles, meaning even siblings raised in the same environment can have vastly different outcomes. Think about it. If every adult is different, why should we expect every child to respond the same way? Parenting books often ignore this basic fact. They try to fit everyone into a neat little box. The problem with this cookie-cutter approach is that it sets parents up for failure. When the advice doesn't work, they blame themselves instead of realizing the advice might not be right for their child. In reality, parents need to be flexible and adapt their approach based on their child's personality and needs. For instance, a child who's introverted may need a different kind of support compared to an extroverted child. Instead of following strict guidelines, try to observe your child closely. Adjust your strategies based on what you see, not just what a book tells you. Psychologist Dr. Wendy Mogul, in her book The Blessing of a Skinned Knee, encourages parents to embrace the individuality of their children rather than forcing them to fit into a mold. Chapter 2. The Myth of the Perfect Parent. Recipe parenting books often sell the dream of becoming the perfect parent, but this is a dangerous myth. The idea that there's a perfect formula for parenting is simply unrealistic. Every parent knows that perfection is impossible, yet these books can make you feel like you're constantly falling short. This pressure can lead to parental burnout, which affects over 60% of parents, according to a 2021 study published in Frontiers in Psychology. The truth is, no one has it all figured out. What works one day might completely fail the next. Parenting is an ongoing process of trial and error. Parenting books tend to simplify things, but real life is messy. Harvard child psychologist Dan Kindlon puts it best: the idea of being a perfect parent doesn't exist. What matters most is being a good enough parent. Instead of aiming for perfection, focus on being present and responsive. Your child doesn't need you to be flawless, they need you to be there. Mistakes are part of the journey. Learn from them and move forward. When you stop chasing perfection, you'll find parenting to be less stressful and more fulfilling. Children need to see that mistakes are part of life, and how you handle them can teach them resilience. Chapter 3. Outdated advice in a modern world. Many parenting books haven't kept up with the fast-paced changes in our world. Technology, education, and society are evolving rapidly, but some advice from these books is stuck in the past. Take screen time, for example. Many older books treat it as an absolute negative, but research from the Journal of American Medical Association in 2020 found that screen time, when used appropriately, can actually aid in learning and development. This doesn't mean children should be glued to screens all day, but it shows the need for nuance in modern parenting. Digital tools are part of today's world, and learning to use them wisely is more realistic than banning them altogether. Likewise, many parenting books still promote traditional gender roles or outdated disciplinary methods like spanking, which has been shown to increase aggressive behavior in children, according to a 2016 meta-analysis published in the Journal of Family Psychology. As a parent, it's crucial to stay informed about current research and trends. Just because a book was a bestseller in the 90s doesn't mean it's relevant today. Instead of sticking to old-fashioned advice, be open to new perspectives. In his book Raising Humans in a Digital World, Diana Graeber suggests teaching children digital literacy, rather than fearing technology. This way, kids can navigate the online world safely while still benefiting from its educational aspects. In today's fast-changing world, flexibility is key. Parenting is an evolving process, and so are the tools and strategies available to you. Keep learning, stay curious, and always question whether the advice you're following is still effective in today's context. If you're enjoying this content and want more tips for effective parenting, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Chapter 4. The Science Illusion. Why facts aren't always universal. Many parenting books like to throw around scientific studies to back up their advice. While facts and research are helpful, they don't always apply to every family. One major issue is that some books cherry-pick studies that support their point of view, leaving out important details. A 2014 report from the National Academy of Sciences found that about 50% of parents admit to being overwhelmed by conflicting information on parenting. Not all studies are created equal. Some might focus on very specific groups of children, while others are done under controlled conditions that don't match real life. For example, sleep training is often debated, and while some studies show benefits, a 2016 review in pediatrics revealed that there's no one-size-fits-all solution for every child. It depends on your child's temperament, age, and even your cultural background. This doesn't mean you should ignore science, but be cautious. Studies can give you insights, but parenting isn't a lab experiment. Be willing to adapt and try different strategies. A good way to approach science-based advice is to see it as a guideline rather than a rulebook. Some techniques may work for your child, while others won't, and that's okay. As Dr. Janet Lansbury notes in her book No Bad Kids, it's not about being perfect, it's about being responsive. Parenting isn't static. The best thing you can do is stay flexible and remember that what worked in a research study might not translate to your home. Chapter 5. Emotional Disconnect. The Human Element books miss one of the biggest flaws in parenting books is that they often ignore the emotional connection between parent and child. Sure, there's a lot of advice on discipline, sleep, and feeding schedules, but how often do these books talk about emotional intelligence? According to a 2020 report by 0 to 3, a strong emotional bond is the foundation for healthy development, yet this crucial aspect is often overlooked. Children need more than just physical care, they need emotional nurturing. When parenting books focus too much on structure and rules, they sometimes miss the softer, more emotional side of parenting. This can lead parents to be overly strict or distant, which can harm a child's emotional growth. A 2015 study in the Journal of Child Development found that children who experience a lack of emotional connection with their parents are more likely to struggle with self-regulation and social skills. Instead of following rigid schedules, try focusing on how your child feels. Make time to talk about their emotions and teach them how to manage feelings like frustration or sadness. In The Whole Brain Child, Dr. Daniel Siegel emphasizes that understanding a child's brain development is key to helping them handle emotions. He suggests using techniques like name it to tame it, where you label a child's feelings to help them manage overwhelming emotions. The emotional connection you build with your child is one of the most important gifts you can give them. When you're emotionally present, your child feels seen and understood, which boosts their confidence and resilience. Chapter 6. The Power of Intuition. Trusting yourself over the experts. Parenting books are full of advice from so-called experts, but there's one expert who knows your child better than anyone else: you. Trusting your instincts as a parent is often undervalued, but it's one of the most powerful tools you have. In fact, a 2022 study published in Parenting Science found that parents who trust their intuition and adapt strategies to their own family's needs are more likely to feel confident and satisfied in their parenting. Many books offer useful tips, but none of them can truly understand the complexities of your unique situation. Parenting isn't just about following steps, it's about making decisions based on what you know about your child. A book might say, put your child on a strict bedtime schedule, but if you know your child needs extra time to wind down, it's okay to break that rule. Intuition allows you to see the bigger picture. In The Awakened Family, Dr. Shefali Sabari argues that parenting is a deeply personal journey and that no expert can tell you exactly how to raise your child. She encourages parents to trust their own inner voice. Children are not a project to be perfected, but individuals to be understood, she writes. That doesn't mean you should ignore expert advice completely. Use it as a tool, but not as the final word. Listen to your child, observe their behavior, and make decisions that feel right for your family. Intuition is about understanding your child's needs in the moment, which no book can predict. When you combine research with your own instincts, you're more likely to find a balance that works for you and your child. At the end of the day, the best parenting guide is the one you create through your own experiences, not just the pages of a book. If you found this video helpful and want more insights on parenting, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content.